Hello, listeners. It's a great day to meet with the director of the Elko Senior Center. Matt McCarty is in studio, and we love catching up with you, Matt. And you said you could just hardly catch your breath. It was so busy at the Senior Center today.
It was an awesome day, an amazing day. The weather was beautiful. We had our patio umbrellas out, so we had folks sitting on the patio, and then we had lines of our seniors in line for produce, and then we had lines of elementary school kids outside waiting to get into the building because we had one of our partnerships that I love to talk about. The Mountain View Elementary Choir is, as we speak, probably still performing at the center. They do an amazing job. They usually come over 2 to 3 times a year. We love seeing the kiddos. It's great. They have their own tech team. There's 3 or 4 students that carry in the equipment and set up the sound, and it is so it's great to watch. And then you've got 60 students that then fill that dining room with their beautiful young voices, and our seniors are so appreciative of it. They enjoy it so much.
That is happiness on so many levels. I mean, it's happiness because we have the continuation of the arts, reaching back into our Mountain View. Thank you, choir director or directors, whoever you are, for continuing that tradition of children singing in school and choral music, and then bringing that kind of happiness and joy, live performance of those children's voices there at the terrace, of course, at Elko's Senior Center. That's so exciting, Matt. And you said something about an Easter hat sale too was going on?
Yes. So I should have said Miss Gowan is our choir director or choral director. So she brings the students over for Mountain View Elementary. And then yes, we have an Easter hat sale. We have a couple of our members that have spent hours making. They've purchased the hats, but then they decorate them with beads and flowers and peacock feathers and all kinds of things, and they've really spruced up these hats. And so we have our annual Easter hat sale that's ongoing, and we'll have that until next Friday, the 18th, when we have our Easter lunch. But the Easter hats are beautiful, and once we get the supplies paid for, then everything else they're donating right back to the center, and so it's awesome. And it's funny because people will say, well, this is only $30. And I tell them $30 is great because what you've just done is pay for 10 senior meals. And that's really what I try to tell them back on. As people say, it's not much. No, it is. Because this is how many meals that just helped. And when I put it into the meals, you can see their eyes kind of brighten and they're like, oh, okay, good. And so, yeah, we are so thankful for all of the support that we get. The community is so generous. But our own members are really generous as well.
Oh, they're generous and creative?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, so we have the hat sale and we have the choir. I said that we had lines of seniors outside, and that was because we have our Produce on Wheels truck today, another great partnership with the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. We are so thankful that they come up here, and they seem to appreciate the partnership as well because they comment all the time, you guys do an amazing job up here with how many people come through, and they're able to really make an impact. And that helps them as an organization as well with their donors and with their sponsors to be able to say, yes, this produce that you're giving us that's fresh and perishable is getting out before it dies. And so it's good to have that rotation. And so I think that's why they like coming up to Elko, because they know we're gonna give you people to give produce to, so keep it coming.
Yeah, there will be no lettuce or tomatoes going to waste here in Northeast Nevada, which again, that's such an important relationship, Matt. Thank you for cultivating that and making sure that it continues, because we know things are kind of tenuous right now, but if we make people aware, then they can direct their donations, right, and their support to these efforts.
Yeah, and we're hoping to be able to expand that as well. We haven't we've planted the seed. We just haven't quite, as you said, cultivated it quite yet. We're watering it a little infrequently, but we're hoping to be able to expand that partnership and have them assist us with our pantry as well.
That sounds great. So no concerns right now. We're doing okay, grant-wise, funding-wise. Our senior center is fairly independent, and that's really good news.
Yes, we try to be as independent as we can. We're not there yet, and that's where we've started an endowment to purposefully grow and have an endowment that will be protected, and then we just use the interest running off of that, so that when there are, at either a national level or a state level or even at a local level, when there are interruptions to our funding supply, that we're okay. We don't get direct funding from the federal government, but the state government, the state funding that we get is dependent upon the Older Americans Act and the funding that comes through with that. So when there are impacts to the Older Americans Act, or when it doesn't get funded, then that trickles down to the state, and then the state isn't able to, to support where we depend on them for they're our second largest source of income.
But it's important to note that has not happened. The funding remains intact.
Yeah, it's remained intact. There was when President Trump had said we're freezing all grants and the other term I'm forgetting right now, but when he did that funding freeze, that did cause the state to pause, and so that caused a little bit of delay on our end. But no, it's still going strong. And in fact, I have a report due today. So Lori Riley, if you're listening, I know I have a report due, and I'll get it to you.
I promise I won't keep him late. We'll skedaddle him right back to the Elko Senior Center so he can get his homework done today. Since we'd mentioned music, I did want to just, so I don't forget, the Ruby Mountain Voices, Matt, are performing an Easter concert this Friday, April 11th, from 7 to 8 p.m. at the North 5th Street LDS Church. And I know they would love it if anybody from the Elko Senior Center or folks want to come out. Obviously, it's open to everybody. It's free admission, but they would love to have as many people as they can fit.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up, because we do have the little postcards on all of our tables for folks to be able to go out to this free concert. And again, it's just, it astounds me when people say, well, there's nothing to do in Elko. Oh. And it's like, well, then you're not looking hard enough, because there are things happening almost every day. And yeah, I love our community. I love where we live.
Matt McCarty is the executive director of the Elko Senior Center. The center is located at 1795 Ruby View Drive, and they are open as early as 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can swing on in and get a cup of coffee. Yes,
absolutely. And typically what I tell folks is 7:30 to 3:30 is kind of our hours. I think we've kind of published 8 to 3, maybe it's 8 to 4, and we need to scale that 4 back a little bit more, because we have seen that it's easier to get folks in the building earlier than later. And
it's harder to get them out.
Sometimes it is.
And that's in the most polite way possible, but yes, because they love it so much.
Our bridge group stays late, our dominoes group stays late.
Square dancing.
They come in the evening and they do that. And it's our dementia-friendly ours through RSVP, our Java music group, they stay late, and it's wonderful to see the life that they bring into the building. And I don't want to disparage and say, we need to shut it off earlier. That's not at all what we're trying to say. And in fact, most of the time I'm like, okay, guys, you're good locking up? All right, lock up. Things are well.
Turn off the lights?
Yep, turn off the lights. And if you pass our janitorial team as they're coming in and you're going out, then all the better. So, but yeah, no, it's almost every day we have somebody there from 8 a.m. to at least 3 p.m. 5 days a week. We've got a different game, a game group. They come in this morning. I think they were playing Mahjong this morning. They play, I don't even know what Quicks is. They play Quicks and 5 crowns and canasta, hand and foot canasta, and then spinner dominoes. And then we've got a whole other group that plays other dominoes. So there is always something going on. And if you are bored in the middle of the day, stop on by the Senior Center. We'll have something for you. And you don't have to be 60 or better. Yes, we cater to those 60 and better, but we are a community center, and we are happy to welcome anybody that comes in.
And of course, the membership is growing at the Senior Center. You can get more information either online at elkoseniors.org or by calling 775-738 30/30, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Matt.
Absolutely.
So cool. And we mentioned meals. Meals are served weekdays starting at 11:30. It's a suggested $3 donation if you are 60 or better. And otherwise, you can enjoy the meal and the company for a $10 contribution.
Absolutely, yeah. And like today we had lasagna. Oh, it smelled so good going through, and the kitchen crew said, Matt, you want lasagna today? No, I got to watch my waistline. I better stick with my salad. We've got great salads, chicken apple salad and a chef salad. Those ones you just need to give us a little bit of notice beforehand.
Because they're made fresh.
We make them fresh. We make them to order. So we need you to let us know by 9. And if you are a senior and you're hearing us and you can't come to the center, you're homebound, we've got our Meals on Wheels program. Let us know if you live within the city of Elko limits or the Spring Creek Association limits, then we can deliver a meal straight to your door. Or maybe you are mobile, but you just don't have the time to be able to come into the dining room. We also have our drive-through option, 10:45 to 11:15. Give us a call and say, hey, I just want to pick up a meal, and you can pick it up and go. And if those hours don't work quite so well, let us know because we can work with you on that too.
Wow, they're always doing something to make life a little easier for our senior population. That's just great, Matt. Thank you so much for letting us know. Of course, the Senior Center, again, located at 1795 Ruby View Drive. You can get my ride if you do need transportation. You were talking about, too, I wanted to mention that the Great Basin College nursing students have been visiting at the Senior Center, too, this month.
Yes, yeah. So, again, another collaboration, another partnership that I am so happy for. Dr. Dankowski does a great job on bringing folks in, and he's not the only one. That there are other aspects of the nursing program that also bring people in, but through his program, his students have to give a presentation. And so they had presentations last week. They have presentations this week. This week is on dealing with stress and relaxation techniques. And so we had 5 students today. We had Emma, Daisy, Megan, Kristen, and Kason that came in, and they're talking to our seniors about how to relax in a healthy way, how to reduce stress in efficient ways and in low cost ways. You don't need to go out and buy a $10,000 massage chair. There are other ways to relax. And so we're very happy for that. And then next week, we're going to be able to talk about brain health and memory care. And that's very appropriate for that day because we also, on that day, have Dementia Friendly. And Dementia Friendly is having a showing of a film that was filmed here in Nevada. It was filmed at Pyramid Lake with the Paiute tribe there, and it talks about specifically dementia, but more directly dementia to Nevadans, Native Nevadans, Native Americans, and so we invite you to come over. There's a film screening that's going to be next Wednesday, and that'll be at 1 p.m. and the filmmaker, Casey Acklin, is going to be here as well.
Nice.
And so you'll be able to visit directly with Casey and talk, talk with him about what he experienced and be able to see the film. And I'm so sorry, I couldn't get my computer up, and so I can't remember the name of the film. It's Finding Tsunami. Something similar to that.
Right. It is a native name of an individual who was the subject of the documentary. I think it really is sort of a documentary type film. This brain health and memory care presentation that the Great Basin College student nurses will be doing is Wednesday, April 16th. You can hear a brief presentation at 11:30. Of course, lunch starts at 11:30. That's when lunch is served, 11:45 weekdays. Yep. And then that'll be followed for the presentation, as you mentioned, 12:45, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so somebody could go in and visit with the Great Basin College students, hear their presentation on memory care and brain health, and then be able to go into the large activity room for the Dementia Friendly, and it's Finding Pesa Tsunami. And I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but that's my understanding. And so that will be also on Wednesday the 16th. It's about an hour and a half long movie, And then, of course, there'll be an opportunity to visit with Ms. Racklin about the film itself.
That's wonderful outreach on behalf of Elko Senior Center, and it's all offered free of charge. And it is, a lot of these programs and services are made possible because we do have generous donors, and you have a foundation. I know that this month you said you received some endowment donations in memory of members or to honor members, such as Mark Chilton, Connie Ellison Hyde, Lee Elliott Mickles, Harry Jackson Sr., and Lynette Aaron Guena. So those are just some folks that by making these contributions, you can honor them or memorialize them.
Yes, absolutely. And, that's for those that are still here, instead of, the idea came about as instead of going and buying a $5 birthday card, that then, you're going to go in and hand
Recycle
deliver.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to get probably tossed and thrown away because over the span of 90 years, you collect a lot of birthday cards. Instead, perhaps invite them to lunch and then give a $5 donation to the Senior Center. And so when those type of donations come in, we are putting those towards our endowment. And again, people say, well, it's only $5. Yes, it's only $5, but it grows. And that's the point of that, is to grow this endowment to the point where when there is an interruption in funding, we're okay. And really, it's not even to look at when there's an interruption. It's to specifically say, thank you, we are self-sufficient at this point, and we would like you to share your generosity for our private donors, share your generosity with others in our community, or to the state to be able to say, thank you, we are good now and we don't need this funding, so perhaps help other seniors and in other ways.
That's an important goal and something that I know people respect and appreciate, especially here in Elko County. The Elko Senior Center does have many partners and collaborators, as you mentioned, aging and disability services. You're able to serve those congregate meals in-house there at the facility, and then you do the Meals on Wheels, but you have all these other amazing activities and seminars that we were talking about too. And it's not just all on the premises. Sometimes you get to get out and do a field trip or go shopping or something too.
Yes, and our travel club is back. They are getting ready to go to Ireland.
What?
They're going to be going to Ireland in October. So I called my wife up and I said, hey, Laura, I think we might have to chaperone a trip. And she said, oh, really? Where's it going? And I said, Ireland. And she said, okay, yeah, I think I could go to Ireland.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't work out this trip, but she may be having up to 2 more trips to Ireland because of the extreme interest in what this trip is going to offer. We had a trip scheduled, ready to go. Everything was paid for. Plane tickets were secured, and then COVID hit. So all of the folks that were excited about that opportunity that are still able to are now getting ready to head over to Ireland, and so we're excited that Sue has been able to do that, and that so many people are interested in it. So that's
fantastic.
That's just one of the things that that again, another partnership. It's not all we're doing as a senior center is helping to communicate the information out, and then give them a room to be able to meet. But it's because of the interest, and it's because of people who are willing to come in and give a little bit of their time to be able to make these arrangements that we're able to do that.
And just as you were suggesting, everything from arts and crafts, you said you got the arts club up and running again.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the art club is running again. We were having it 2 days a week. Now we're only having it 1 day, and that's just because things have changed a little bit. But through the art club, they've also helped out with the Easter hats that I mentioned previously. And in July, I really would love for folks to come out. If you've never been to the Senior Center, come out anytime. But in July, specifically come out because our decorations, part of our decorations is we have things on our table, and we have cards that are patriotically themed. All of those cards were drawn or painted or colored by our art club. And it's beautiful artwork, and so we're so happy that we're able to put those out year after year and be able to save them in between and use that as part of our decorations through the month of July.
Oh, and I'm sure some of them are a great way to remember former members of the Senior Center and then to encourage, budding artists. It's never too late to tap into your inner art.
No, not at all. And Melanie does a great job. She can help with drawing. She can help with charcoal. She can help with watercolor. Watercolor is her main medium that the folks work on in the art room. We don't do clay and ceramic because it's just a little bit more messy than what we have. But through Great Basin College Continuing Education, another great partnership is they have those opportunities there, and jewelry making as well. And so it's just there are opportunities if people want to know. We're happy to try to pass along that information.
You're so great at steering people in the right direction. Matt McCarty is the director of the Elko Senior Center, where it's so much more than meals. The meals are really important. It's a great way to get folks together. But after that, I mean, the sky's the limit. If someone listening has a suggestion, maybe you have a talent or a skill. I know, Rick Whittington is in the Ruby Mountain Voices. He loves tennis. He's a tennis fanatic, and having been a tennis pro, he's all about tennis. So, getting the word out really is half the battle sometimes,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Just reminding people of these opportunities.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Whittington has come a number of times and talked about, not so much during the winter, during the summer,
Yes.
Spring, summer, fall months when it's, tennis season, he's come up and he's been able to talk. And in fact, we tried to get him to help us out with our Senior Olympic Games, which is also coming up. And the timing didn't work quite so well on that, so we weren't able to get that. But yeah, the summer games are coming. There's always something going on at the Senior Center, and always something to plan for as we move forward.
That's right. And you'll hardly find more motivated people than our Elko seniors. I mean, they help to build this community. And sure, retirement seemed like a great option. And now in talking to a lot of them, they say, I just got bored and I just want to keep busy and I want to keep meeting people and learning new things. And for other people, they say, I just want to come here and relax and enjoy a good meal in the company of my friends.
Yes, and it's funny because you can tell who's there for the meal and be cognizant of their nutrition and their diet, and then you can tell the ones who come to just socialize, because usually at about 11:15 we start serving the folks that have some mobility challenges or perhaps aren't able to hold the trays that the food come on, and so about 11:15 we start serving, and then about 11:30, 11:25 I get up and say our announcements, and we do a daily blessing of the food. And usually I'm finishing up, and we've already got one or two people that are already finishing their meal and starting to head to the door. And it's so funny, and I laugh every time. It's like, well, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
That's right.
And then others, they are there all day. We've got our Thursday group of players that I think they start at 8. And there are days where it's 4:30, and I'm like, okay, guys, you're locking up because I've been here for enough hours.
Yes.
I'm heading home. Keep having fun. Stay as long as you need. It's your center. We trust you. You know how to lock up, and we go from there. And they're diehards, and they love it.
And as you mentioned, I mean, it's their center. The community helped to build it and create it, and the visionaries, some of them have passed on, but their legacy lives and continues in the new group of seniors that join every month. It seems like you publish a long, long list of new members of the Elko Senior Center, and it's a beautiful facility. You've got the patio, you've got the fireplace gathering area indoors, you have these meeting rooms. It's really versatile too, Matt. It's super cool.
It is, and it is beautiful, and it is versatile. It's also, we've also outgrown the space that we have
for dining, especially.
Yes. So like today, we were out of places of where we could put folks. And
really?
So now that wasn't necessarily the dining. That was because we had other meetings, but both of our overflow rooms were used with meetings. We had Great Basin College Nursing in one. We had our noon Rotary Club in another, and so like the Bridge Group. The Bridge Group is pretty regular, and they're very serious. They're the ones that if you read the Elko Daily Free Press and it says the Bridge Club results, that's these guys, and they want to play and they want to win, and they want to get their name in the paper, and it's funny, and so they've asked, hey, can we maybe go into one of the other rooms so that they can have kind of a more private individual room? And we've said, if we can find the space, absolutely, and if the timing is right and the days are right, then absolutely. And so they've been able to expand as well with a bridge introduction class that they now have, I think, 8 players on, and unfortunately we just lost one of our bridge players last week. Sorry, I got choked up on that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, Matt.
These members are, I mean,
Their
they're wonder,
family.
and their family, yeah.
They're, it's our community.
Yes,
Right.
it is,
I'm so sorry.
and so when we lose one,
Yeah.
it is hard, and so the bridge team, the bridge group was impacted, but yet they said no, we're going to keep playing because she would want us to keep playing, and she was helping to bring other members in, and so it's great to see this growth. But it's like, all right, where do we put them now? We're busting out at the seams, and so we've got to just be more creative with how we, how we manage the facilities, and we're hoping that we might be able to secure some land very soon, and then with that we might be able to start a capital campaign. It'll be a long-term campaign, but it'll be a campaign to build a new senior center that gives us the ability to expand and to have more of these places. And maybe we have a dedicated bridge room, or we have a dedicated dominoes room. And so my preference is also that we have dedicated meeting rooms that we can isolate from the rest of the senior center, so that if folks want to come in the evenings, they're welcome to do that, and we don't impact the rest of the senior center. Because the building, you mentioned versatility, the building is also available to be rented. I've said it's a community center, and it can be rented for quinceañeras and weddings and birthday parties and memorials, remembrances and celebrations of life. So if it's a gathering, then please consider supporting the senior center and come on up and see what we can offer. And if the date is available and we have the people that we can work it, then we'll be happy to work with you.
Sounds great, Matt. Matt McCarty is the director of the Elko Senior Center. You can call and ask about this availability at 775-738-3030. It's also a great number if you or someone you know is interested in the Meals on Wheels program, or if you just have any questions. Maybe you have a concern about a neighbor or an elderly friend. The center is also a great place for resources and referrals. You may not be able to help directly, but I'm certain you will know someone who can help.
And that's just it. And that's what we tell folks, is that no, we don't run a shuttle service, or no, we don't do direct Social Security, or we don't do Medicare, or these other things. We don't do home health visits, but we can get you in contact with someone who can. And it may not be the exact answer you're looking for, but we can certainly try to help and again facilitate where those connections can be made. And from there, maybe the first call you find what you're looking for, and great, perfect. Or maybe it takes a couple of calls, but we can at least try to start that process. And that's for both those who are seniors, but also those who have seniors. Perhaps they're your parents or your grandparents, because we now, we have multi-generational households, and so maybe you need a little bit of help with someone that's on the older side of the age spectrum. We're happy to try to help where we can.
I've been with Matt just various places, and you've gotten calls, and it's from people who say, hey, I have a concern, or my mom or my dad, and it's so nice you've been able to help them, Matt. So we
certainly try. We try to do what we can. We've got an amazing team. Our staff is small but mighty.
Yes.
And we've got such a supportive board of 7, and those ladies do a great job of helping us and supporting us. And then our volunteers. Our volunteer appreciation dinner is coming up. I'm so excited for that, to see what our contributions from our volunteers were last year, because I love being able to say, okay, folks, you generated $250,000,000 worth of labor for the center based on how many hours you've done, and we can't afford we can't afford to pay the labor for the amount of volunteer hours that we get, and it's amazing.
That's a lot of love and a lot of pride. Of course, we're talking about our very own Elko Senior Center, and there is a chance for you to get out and have a little fun. Maybe you've never been to the Elko Senior Center, but this is a fundraiser, and it is super popular. So what's happening Thursday night?
Thursday night in Elko is going to be our monthly bingo game. And it's doors open at 5. Game starts at 5:30. It's only $10 to buy in, and we give out half of the cash that we raise right back to the players. Sometimes it's close to $1,000. Sometimes it's $600. In Spring Creek, we're happy if we give out $200 or $300. But you know, I say if you want to win cash, come into the Elko Bingo, because there are some pretty large pots. In fact, our first game for this month, for every month, is our progressive bingo, and I think this one is going to exceed $500 just on game one. Now that may exceed what our coverall payout is, so it may be the biggest win of the night. But somebody's going to walk away with, or at least we're paying out $500. Maybe one or two people are going to win it. But yeah, come on down. It is a fundraiser. We do appreciate it, and it is a fundraiser as well. Raise some fun. Bring a group of folks down and come on over. We've got some mild concessions, some minor concessions with hot dogs and nachos and cinnamon rolls, some popcorn. Another great partnership, UEC Movie Theaters donates our popcorn, and so we are so thankful for that. So we get movie theater popcorn and chips and sodas, and it's just a good fun time.
Of course, bingo, as Matt is saying, that's Thursday, April 10th. The doors open at 5. In Spring Creek, the following Wednesday, the 16th, the doors will open at 5:30. And theirs is in the Spring Creek Association's boardroom there on Fairway Boulevard. This is serious bingo. You must be 21 or older to play.
That's right. We're thankful for the Nevada Gaming Control Board for allowing us to have this bingo. But yes, 21 and older only, please.
Matt, is there anything we didn't get to yet that you were hoping to highlight today? I know we always cover a lot of territory.
We do, and I always leave thinking, oh, I should have said this. Oh. And I guess I do have one more thing. We do have our Easter luncheon coming up. It's on Friday the 18th, so a week from this Friday. And this year we're offering ham, but if you would prefer not to have ham and instead would like to have salmon, then we have a salmon offering. However, you must let us know by 1 p.m. on Monday, because we have to order enough salmon in. Salmon doesn't swim naturally through the Humboldt. So,
not anymore.
So we can't just go out and start fishing to bring in some more. So let us know if you would like salmon for our Easter celebration. Then please let us know by Monday at 1 o'clock. And for those that aren't able to join us, a very happy Easter to everyone.
Oh, thank you so much, Matt. We'll send more folks your way because I know you take good care of everyone, and we appreciate it so much. And thank you to the staff at the Elko Senior Center. You're not on the radio, but we are thinking of you all the time, and we appreciate you too. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Lori.
Thanks, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today.